Happy New Year! It's exciting to have a new year before us, and we can create whatever we want for it, right? So, I'm Doug Wilder. I am with Wilder Business Success Inc. And what I wanted to talk about is what I tell many of my clients on how to make and keep New Year's resolutions. You know how the gym is full of people on the first week of the new year. But then as the year goes on, the crowd disperses. And that's because people are not able to keep their New Year's resolutions. I'm going to give you a way that can help you to not only make that commitment, but then to keep it. There are 4 steps. The first one is to decide. The second is to define. The third is to declare. And the fourth step is to deliver. Now let's break down those steps one by one. And the first one is to decide. This means that you're going to look at the big picture and say, okay, what is it that I really want to accomplish? And so as you're looking at this, don't just think in terms of dollars and cents. It's better to think in terms of what will really resonate. If it is to make more money, then what does that mean? More clients, or you're going to do a different type of marketing, or whatever that might be. So the first step is to decide. For instance, what I would like to create in this new year is a book. I want to write my own book, finally. And even though I've started many times, this time I'm going to go through the process of how I get my clients to do this. So it'll work for me too. The next step is to define. And what that means is you take this big goal and you start saying, okay, what are the steps that are going to be necessary to make this happen? And the more narrowly you define those steps, more likely you are to hit them. All right? So, for instance, I'm thinking of writing this book, right? That's what I declared. That's what I said was what I decided upon. So now the next step is to define it. And so as I define it, there are several things that need to happen. First of all, I need to decide on the topic. Okay. The second thing is research it. And then start putting words to paper. And then finally having somebody who's going to edit it for me or help me go through it and actually to make sure that it looks the way I want to have it look. And the third step is to declare it. And what that means is you make a declaration to yourself, number one, that you're going to accomplish this goal and all the steps that are necessary to do it. And then if you can declare it to the public, to an individual or to somebody who's going to hold you accountable and encourage you. And there's a fine balance between accountability and encouragement. So find somebody who can give you both. And maybe it's a group of people, or maybe it's to the public, as I am just doing. So, for instance, I am now making this declaration that I'm going to be writing a book. And so now it's out there. I'm going to be held accountable by all of you out there. That's exciting. And so give me encouragement and accountability. And the final step is to deliver. And what this means is that you start to follow the plan. You make that commitment and you just do it. Sometimes you just have to start taking that first step and just make sure you do it. And then you go through and you take the next step and then the next step. And by the end of the year, you have your big goal accomplished. So in my world, I'm going to be writing this book. I've defined the different steps I'm going to make. I've declared it to you. And now I am saying, okay, so now I need to do it. So I'm going to be tracking my success. So every week and every month, I'll be looking at, okay, how have I done on the book? Every day, am I taking a little bit of time out each day to put words on the paper? The idea is don't beat yourself up on the days that you don't do it, but encourage yourself to say, okay, go ahead and put it in there and make it happen. So those are the 4 steps that I'm going to be following to write my book. And I suggest that you go out and create the success that you need for yourself. Remember, decide, define, declare, and deliver.